These days, it's the name given to someone who harasses people anonymously online.
Internet trolls are increasingly being forced out of hiding. Just this week, a woman from Brighton won a landmark ruling forcing Facebook to hand over details of her cyberbullies. So, has the fight back against trolls begun? Well, the comedian Isabel Fay didn't hold back when making a video in response to internet abuse. Have a look at this.
Well, hello, friend, Mr. Insightful. Thank you for your comments on my little YouTube clip. I love the way you don't upload things. You know we'd be too dazzled by your cinematic vision. Aggressive, racist, homophobic, misogynistic, cowardly, illiterate, waste of human skin. But I say thank you, beautiful stranger.
Isabel Fay is with us. Welcome, Isabel. And David Banks, who's a media lawyer. Isabel, I've got to start with you. Now, we must explain. We had to edit that because there were a few naughty words in there. I think when you were fighting back at the trolls, you were rather in that. But what happened?
Well,
what
I
made
was
you
quoting them rather than my response was just to say thank you very much for taking the time to give me your clever advice.
But why did you feel so angered that you wanted to make a video to get back at them?
I don't think it's anger that motivated it, but
what did motivate it?
Right, okay. Well, I've been making comedy films for a few years now, and they always seem to attract this this slightly nasty abuse underneath, and obviously this seems to be completely normal. And it struck me that it's awful, that it is normal, that it is the norm to accept that somebody can write something horrible under your YouTube clip. And let's be absolutely clear here, we're talking about abuse, not criticism. I can take criticism, you know, I'm used to being heckled.
But David, this is what's coming out now, isn't it? The internet almost has given people a feeling of a free-for-all. So you stop criticising and you do start abusing, and now this new ruling we've seen regarding Facebook is probably drawing a line under that and saying, hold on, this has got to stop.
Well, I think it's probably going to make people realise that no longer can they hide behind anonymity all the time, and that's, you know, these social media sites like Facebook and Twitter can, in some circumstances, be forced to hand over the details of people who use it.
Difficult to police, though, isn't it?
It's very difficult to police as it happens, because there's just so many messages being posted at any one time, millions of tweets and millions of messages posted up on Facebook. So very difficult to proactively police. But if people do take action, as has happened in the Facebook case, people can be pursued and brought to book.
Isabel, you're a comedian, so I don't know if you do stand-up or anything like that, but you expect heckling.
Yes.
Don't you? In a way, someone could turn around and say, look, this is just online heckling.
Absolutely, and if somebody heckles you, as a comedian, you're probably going to give them a put-down. Well, this is just my put-down. I've exercised my freedom of speech. I mean, there's a lot of discussion here about freedom of speech and whether or not this kind of abuse is people just exercising their freedom of speech.
But I guess at least if someone heckles...
I'm using mine.
I guess if someone heckles you in a gig, you might have a shining light in your face, but you can see them. They're not hiding, they're not being cowardly, if you like. Because,
absolutely.
You know, they're putting themselves up there to be publicly critical of
absolutely, which is why I think when you get trolled online, people say don't respond, because actually these anonymous people, all they want is a response. They're absolutely desperate for you to respond, and I've often been told don't respond. Clearly I've ignored them.
It's quite a widespread problem, isn't it? I think we've got another clip because you managed to get some of the famous faces who've experienced trolling to take part in the video for the song. Let's just have a quick look at this.
You said, Dawn Porter, you make me ashamed to be a woman. Thanks.
You said, I'm not funny and I never will be.
You said, does Helen Leder remind you of Miss Piggy? Oh, thank you.
I can understand them being upset. David, I mean, whose responsibility is it then? Is it YouTube, Facebook, Twitter? Is it their responsibility to keep an eye on everything? I mean, that's impossible, isn't it?
No, I think it's unreasonable sometimes to expect social media sites to monitor every single message that's put up there. Although in some circumstances they can be you know, held responsible for messages that they are aware of and don't remove. But what we're seeing now is the courts allowing people able to identify and pursue the individuals who are posting these messages. Now, if these individuals are in this country, it might be reasonably easy then to take some sort of action against them. But I think one of the difficulties is you don't know whether someone's in the next street or the next continent. You know, people could be posting things from across the world, and then that might be difficult taking the next step once you've identified them if they're living somewhere which is much more difficult to take an action against.
So should everyone resort to what Isabel's been doing then?
It would be great. It'd be great. I mean, the great thing for Isabel is she's had this avenue to take action. I'd be interested to know if the trolling has gone up or down.
How has the reaction been?
By quite a long way. I'm trying to think of anything I could actually say without getting BBC Breakfast into trouble.
So it hasn't really worked, then,
Do
you think, if it's gone up?
I think it has worked if it's gone up, because I think the people it's aimed at haven't got it and are being proved to be exactly what I'm calling them.
I should point out that go on, sorry.
Well, I was just going to say I can't think of anything that's been said that I can actually say on BBC Breakfast.
Okay. Tell us later.
But yeah, pretty horrible.
And we should point out that while you were talking, we were putting all the different ways that people can get in touch with us. The Facebook page, the email.
Yeah. It must happen
leave
to
your
you.
name and address so at least you know who you are.
It does, yeah. No trolling, please.
But does it happen to you guys?
It happens to everybody.
Anyone who puts themselves out
there,
And
do you just ignore it? Or
you try to.
Yes, you just try to ignore it.
I think you have to rise above it sometimes.
You.
No, that's fair enough. Turn the tables.
David, Isabel, thanks very much.
Now, coming up in the next half hour, we'll have a look at what's in this morning's papers. In a fairy tale, I'm sure you know it, but these days it is the name